You know, a lot of went into it. It was a great experience a couple years ago. I talked to Coach Smith about it. Jonathan was really excited about it. The donor community really liked it. Our fans liked it. And most importantly, our student athletes really enjoyed the experience. Many of them have pro aspirations, and to be able to play in a pro stadium and it be your home game. And then the city of Detroit wrapped itself around this game a couple years ago. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. Originally, I said last time this was a one-off, but it was such a great experience for everyone involved. And I said, why not? Let's try it again.
So if I'm not mistaken, that's the same weekend, so you had to get cooperation from the MHSAA too. They're moving to Sunday, is that right?
We did. Director Mark Ewell has been awesome during this process. He's been involved in the entire process. It did require his approval to move the MHSA finals, and he was willing to do that. So it's a really great partnership with MHSA, the Detroit Lions, and Michigan State Athletics, and we're excited to paint the town green and white.
Obviously, it being indoors in late November plays probably a factor with being outside at Spartan Stadium. Is that at all?
No, I mean, weather's not a huge factor. I mean, this was more an opportunity to play in Detroit because at some point, hopefully next year, you know, we're in consideration for the college football playoff. And those are played, the first rounds at least, are played on at home stadiums. And so we want to be able to host one of those. So the weather is not that big of a deal for us because we know at some point we're going to be playing a CFP game at home. It's going to be cold.
So to follow up, the optic of the empty stadium in the snow last fall did not precipitate this decision.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, revenue is a big part of what we have to do. I mean, moving forward, more importantly than ever, how to generate new revenue is a big thing that we have to do. And we made money at the Ford Field experience a couple of years ago. So does it play a part? Yes, Fred, it does. Is it the only part? No.
Obviously, you get feedback from season ticket holders, good and bad. Some resist this, some welcome it. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say, but the change this time, the difference this time is last time season ticket holders had already purchased their season pass. That information won't go out until potentially next week. So this is outside of the season ticket package, and so they won't have to worry about being reimbursed or where their seats are. This will be a one-off.
But your confident fans welcome this.
Yeah, I did my homework. This wasn't me just sitting in my office saying, let's do this. I had a focus group of a number of people. I checked with, a lot of people. My staff checked with a lot of people, and there was an all-go on this. There was very little negative feedback.
What were some of Jonathan's thoughts on moving to?
He was excited. I mean, he was excited right away. He understood taking away a home game, but Detroit is an area that he's focused on for recruiting. And he thinks that his student athletes, actually he brought a group of his student athletes together and they talked about it and they're excited about it. So he was on board.
We found out this week Mark D'Antonio is going to be a member of the CFP College Football Committee. What's that mean for Michigan State?
It means a lot. I mean, our name is included in that group that decides who's going to play in the game. I talked to Coach D about it, and he can't promise me anything, but if we put the product on the field, we at least have one vote.
So you like the fact that there's a Spartan on that committee?
I love the fact that there's a Spartan on that committee, and I love the fact that it's Coach D.
Seeing the success of the winter sports so far, what's that been like for you as an AD, especially with the way hockey and men's basketball can go?
It's been incredible. Last Saturday, I watched the women basketball team win at home on senior night, and then drove, 2.5 hours to South Bend and was able to participate in that celebration with hockey. And we have gymnastics doing well, baseball doing well. Casey Luban and the men's golf team won over the weekend. And then obviously I'm leaving here in a couple of hours to go with the men's basketball team to Iowa to, hopefully, figure out what's next for us for the men's basketball team. And so it's been really exciting. It allows our fans, our students, the community to wrap themselves around many of our sports, and it's been fun.
Speaking of revenues, Alan, about a year ago you were quoted as saying, "We are not going to drop any sports while I'm here." That's an always changing landscape. I don't have that on the record. Has anything changed? Do you stand by that theory that you plan to eliminate no sports here in the future?
I 100% stand by that. While I'm AD, my plan is to not drop any sports. So you can put that on record. There are no plans to drop any sports.
How feasible is it, and how challenging is it in this economic landscape?
It's challenging, but you know, it's something everybody's going through. It's why we're trying to do different things to increase revenue generation, raise more money. But the challenge is a good challenge. I think for us at Michigan State, we got to figure out how are we successful in this system. And that's what's exciting for me. But our teams are going to be there, our student athletes are going to be there, and we're going to do everything possible, give them the resources to continue to compete for championships.
I haven't asked you this. I'm sure Tom Izzo's job is safe, but as he's 70 and 30 years here, do you work on him at all to stick around?
Coach will be here. We don't, I said this before, he's one coach where I don't have a plan for succession. Why? I mean, I don't want to think about that. And he's having a great time. He's coaching like he's 40 years old. He has a lot of energy. He's, you know, the student athletes are responding to him, even more so now than ever. So there's no reason why he needs to think about stepping down.
What did you view as the biggest successes of the Ford Field game the first time around?
Well, the fans, the crowd was absolutely incredible. We painted the place green and white, the different experiences within the stadium, the different food options, and then the city of Detroit. Many people made a whole day of it. You know, it was a night game. They came in early. They went to the restaurants, the hotels. So I just think the overall experience of being in the city of Detroit and what everything and all of the renovation that's happened in downtown Detroit, people love to be in the city, and for us to participate, being Michigan State is exciting.
The opposition doesn't ever say in this, it's your game, but do they give you any feedback or not?
They probably enjoy being indoors, but at the end of the day, even if we're outdoors, wherever it is, we still have to play in the elements. So for us, it's a home game because Detroit is part of Michigan State.